everyone, and welcome. I'm Connie Douglas from Great Stamping with Connie. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada, and I would like to welcome you to Connie's Craft Along. So I hope you've had a great day. Depending where you are, I hope you're safe. There was a tornado alert warning that came through on my phone. Somebody said it was for the Sarnia area. I know we had a lot of rain here, not a ton of wind, but then someone said, well, it's still coming your way. So I don't know what we're in for, but wherever you are, I hope you are dry and that you're safe. And thank you for joining me here, hanging out, and perhaps even doing a little bit of crafting tonight. As I said in my email when I sent this, if you like layers, this is a card for you. Lots of layers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 layers. It's a lot of layers. So if you are here and joining me, do say hello. Let me know that you're on here and you're watching. And I'm just going to see if I can find it. Hopefully everyone has internet. Storms and thunder and lightning and all that. Sometimes that takes the internet down, but hopefully you have internet where you are and you are able to get this and join me. Lorna, you're able to. Excellent. Welcome. So glad you made it tonight, and glad you figured out everything for the retreat. So I have had a very busy day today. It's been lots of fun. This morning we kicked off our online global retreat. So you may recall me talking about that. 4 demonstrators: Canada, the United States, Australia, and the UK. And we have come together and we run retreats online, obviously, since it's pretty tough to get people from Australia, the UK, Canada, and the United States all together. So we didn't try to do that. We just do it virtually, but it's great. We had a kickoff get together this morning on Zoom, and a chance to meet everyone and chit chat and all the rest of it. And now for the next couple of days, we've got lots of crafting sessions planned. We're going to do some make and takes and share some techniques and some fancy folds. And I need to put my glasses on to see to read these comments here. Today is Thursday or Friday? Oh dear, poor Lorna. It is Thursday today. So the kickoff was this morning, and the retreat will start tomorrow on Friday. So you haven't missed any of the meat and potatoes yet, Lorna. So it's all good. And of course, everything does get recorded. So if you're not able to join us at the time we're actually doing it live, you can always watch the replays. So if you didn't register for the retreat this time, make sure you're on my mailing list and you will be notified when we're going to do one again. We usually do 2 a year, one in February and one in July. That's been the last couple of years anyway. So we haven't actually talked about when the next one is yet. We're getting through this one first, but I'm going to say probably in February. So the new catalog is out and it's celebration, and it's just a good time to get together and craft and hang out together. February for most of us is winter weather and not time when we want to be outside a whole lot. Our Australian friends, it's their summer and they maybe do, but anyway. Alrighty, I am going to flip this down so that we can get started with some crafting. So there was a whole lot of bits and pieces, and I tried to get this on there as well. This is the everybody calls it the little red truck. I call it the little red truck. It's not red. It doesn't have to be red. I mean, when I've had time to make just one, and oh, look at that, it is red. But how cute is this? Oh my gosh. It's the very first one I've made, and I haven't done anything with it yet, but how cute. I love it, love it, love it. It's so much fun. Anyway, that's the good news, is that it's super cute. And the good news is that you can order this stamp set again, Trucking Along, which gives you the images for the truck, and it gives you all sorts of things to put in the back of your truck, along with some sentiments. The bad news is that the punch is not available right now. It has sold out, and unfortunately, Stampin' Up! Does not manufacture their own punches. So the punch is not expected to be available again until October. So that's kind of the sad news, but not surprising news. If you follow my posts and my messages and my emails and things, I suggested that if you wanted this, you jump on it the day it came out, because there was so much buzz about this set. We all knew it was going to sell out, and it was going to sell out quite quickly, and it did. So anyway, let's move on. So for tonight, I had to put it on a gray background because I had a lot of white stuff going on. Card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, standard card base. I'm using thick basic white. And then a piece of cardstock that is 5 1/4 by 4. So this is just a layering piece. And I said the options are that if it's a light color, you could stamp on it, or you could emboss it, or you could just leave it plain. These are just options, things that you can do. I have white. I don't know what I'm going to stamp on it. I didn't really think all of that through necessarily. Maybe I'll just stamp the outline of the truck on it, since I'm not really prepared and I didn't emboss it. But anyway, there we go. That's the next one. Oh yes, stamps, ink, embellishments, and adhesive. And I didn't get this in the picture, but I did tell you you will need all the usuals. There just didn't seem to be anywhere to put it. So adhesive designer series paper that is 4 inches by 3 3/8 of an inch. And this one is from the One Horse Open Sleigh package. It is 6 by 6 designer series paper that is available only online. So anyone can order it, but you won't find it in the catalog. You have to go online to shop for that one. Piece of cardstock that is 4 1/8 by 3.5. And, you know, not a real spoiler, but there we go. There's one of our layering pieces. So we'll put him together in a little bit. Piece of cardstock that is 3 3/4 by 1 inch. A piece of cardstock that is 3 7/8 by 1 3/4. A piece of cardstock that is 3/4 by 1/4 of an inch less than the sentiment strip. So, so here's our sentiment strip, 1/2 inch wide, and however long you need for your sentiment. We'll trim it after we stamp it. And then this piece is 3/4 of an inch. So this is, again, some obvious layering stuff. And it will be 1/4 of an inch less than this. So our sentiment piece is going to be longer than this piece. This is not cut or anything yet, obviously, but it's going to end up looking kind of like that. Can you see how I've got it dangling over the end a little bit? So the sentiment piece will be a little bit longer than this framing piece. And then I suggested that you might also want some punched, die cut, or fussy cut interest elements. And again, those are optional depending what else you've got going on your card. And if you've got some ready, you can use them or not. And you can decide when we get to the point where you're sort of looking at that, trying to decide whether you want to add it or not. Okay, so we are going to start with some stamping, and I am going to stamp the truck outline just kind of around the edges of this. A lot of this piece of paper is going to get covered by the layers, but there will still be some that is shown. So if you want to stamp on here, you know, around your edges is where you want to make sure you are hitting with whatever it is you're stamping, because most of the center area is going to get covered up. So just going to put in some truck stamping. This Night of Navy ink pad is relatively new. I replaced my other one, and this one is super juicy. It's just, sometimes it's almost too juicy and difficult to work with. But anyway, I'm not convinced this truck is going to look terrific, stamped around the edges, but you know, we're giving it a go, so we'll see. It's going to overlap a little bit. Oh, kind of, sort of truck-ish stuff. Yes, look at that. Juicy. Oh, right onto my finger as well. So just going to grab a piece of paper towel here and try and get rid of some of this ink. I could use paper towel to take some of it off the ink pad, but I figured if I just use it, just keep using it, and the ink will get used, and then it won't be quite as juicy. But right now, it's very inky. Okay, and then I also want sentiment. So I have pulled out Happy Holidays, and this is not actually in the trucking along. The trucking along, because I wanted something narrow, they have sending you sunny thoughts, and I have snow in my designer series paper, so that didn't really seem like a good choice. So I went with the brightest glow stamp set, and this Happy Holidays is nice and narrow and suitable for a holiday card. Could be a Christmas card. Let's see if we can get that stamped on there. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to close this up for now. And I may actually just use that truck that I've already stamped my card. So what I'm going to do, I am going to cut this just with a little bit extra on each end. I want to trim this just a smidge. This actually doesn't look like a very straight cut. There we go. Oh, this one doesn't look all that straight out. Oh, just a little more up here, a little more up there, a little more up here. Yes, this is why I use a cutter, because you can put it up against the top, and then you can cut, and it comes out totally straight. But yeah, see, just give in and get out your cutter, and then it will be the way you want it. So I just want to square that off. Easy enough when you have the tools. Alrighty, so get some of these little bits out. Now, is this anywhere close to any kind of a measurement? This is, oh, it's just a smidge over 2 3/4. So I'm just going to shave it a tiny bit more. And let's see what we have here. There we go, 2 3/4. So I now know that I want my red piece, oh, too many Post-it notes, to be 2 1/2. Okay, so my sentiment is 2 3/4, and I want this to be 1/4 of an inch less. So I'm going to go to 2 1/2, and I'm going to cut that, and hopefully I got it right, because I don't know that I have any more red cardstock here. But you can see when I mount that there will be some, can you see that? They're dangling over this edge and this edge a little bit. So I think that I will just put that on right now. So because we know this is longer, make sure when you add your adhesive that you don't go right to the very edge, or you'll have adhesive floating in space, and you'll get sticky stuff in places that you don't want to have sticky stuff. So just drop that kind of in that neighborhood. So this is why I use liquid glue, because we're working with small pieces here to be able to just fidget it around a bit. Okay, there. I think it's good there. Put the, oh, while I'm at it, let's go ahead and we're going to put our designer series paper onto the cardstock that is, again, just slightly larger. So again, I am going to use my liquid glue because I have a narrow border, and this will allow me to smush it around just a little bit if I need to move it after I sort of get it set into the general area. Put that down. Just get it right where I want it. Looks good there. Turn it over, give it a press on the back. And I do that so that I don't actually push on paper and move it around. Okay, so now we have 2 layers here and 2 layers there. So there's 4 layers, 5, 6, 7, and our card base is 8. So those are our 8 layers. And we have 6 layers that we're about to work with, right? As this one's sort of sitting here, and then we've got 2, 4, 5 more to put on. Now, if this was mystery stamping, at this point, I might suggest that you put this down first, or you can put it all down at the end. But I would probably tell you to put all of these layers onto here, and I would just let you have at her. You know, do it however you like. But because it's Connie's Craft Along, I will show you how I put my card together. Doesn't mean it's the only way by any stretch. Doesn't mean it's the way that you need to do it. It is just one option. And in fact, all of these pieces, you could put them together in a number of different ways, just, you know, layering things up and you know, whatever. Making it however you want. You could do it as a, you know, something to stick out the back and have this right over to the edge and all sorts of things. But here's what I am going to share with you. So this piece is just slightly narrower than this base piece. So again, I'm going back to my liquid glue because I have a lot of narrow layers and edges and things. So just in case things look like they're off kilter, I will be able to slide them around a bit. Hello, Karen. Welcome. I'm glad you could join us. We are just starting to assemble all of these layers. And I am just kind of eyeballing this to the center. It doesn't have to be in the center. You could put it higher, you could put it lower. You could, as I said, you could turn it vertical instead of horizontal. This is just how I am choosing to do it. Okay, I'm going to put that strip down first, and then I am going to put my designer series paper on top of this. So now, as you start to layer up, you want to be a little bit generous with your adhesive because, of course, we have differences in the layers here. So you want to make sure you're going to catch things and things are going to stick down where you want them to stick down. So very, very thin streaks of my liquid glue because it does stick very well and it does ooze out if you go on too thick. But I put it all over the back of this piece of cardstock, as you may have noticed. So, okay, so there is my next layer. Following that, I have, and here's where I need to perhaps play with my layout a little bit. I have this piece of Misty Moonlight that is going to just dangle over the designer series paper, but it doesn't go right to the edge of the red. And then I have my sentiment. Now, this could go in the middle, this could go towards the edge, this could go higher, this could straddle the red, up here, and it kind of depends on what you were planning for other interest elements. I was thinking I would use this truck. I didn't realize this is the first time I've used it, so the truck is driving this way. Might have been nice if my truck was driving this way. I could have built this with the punch. And I wonder, I don't really have, I don't have a lot of card stock sitting here, but I was thinking this truck could have been driving up this thing that's almost kind of sort of road-like, this path through the snow. Oh, he could be down here too. He could be going this way. Maybe he could be coming from the top. He could be coming this way. Wishing you happy holidays. Or he could just be sitting above all of this, couldn't he? Put this back towards the middle. Put this down here. The bottom. Just on this side. I like it over on this side. So many choices. I could actually put this down and I could put the truck on here too. Or the truck could be driving on this red bit. Yes, okay. So my other card had so many fewer choices. It was easier. Maybe like that. That's kind of a neat look. I think I might do that just for because. Okay, so I am going to pull this off and pull this off, and this I am going to put down flat, kind of centered in the red area. I'm going to use the liquid glue, and I'm going to stop inside of the edge because this blue, as you can see, dangles over, and it doesn't need to stick down to that red. I'm just going to let the ends kind of float in the air. They're not that high. It's one layer of cardstock and one layer of designer series paper, so it's not super high, but I'm not going to actually glue the ends and try and get it to, just in case, you could kind of see that it was bending down. I don't want that. So there we go. And then I think what I'm going to do is put dimensionals onto all of these pieces. So let's come in with some, and I'm going to put a generous amount of dimensionals on here because again, I am going over ridges. So I just want to make sure everything is held in place, and there's lots of adhesive in various places so that I know enough of it will catch that it's not going to fall off my card. Okay. This designer series paper is, it's wonderful. There's so many pieces that are scenes and fake scenery. We used a lot, well, we used 5 different pieces of it in the Christmas in July card class that we did last night. And just some really beautiful sort of pictures that you can create with this paper. So I think I mentioned that the designer series paper is an online exclusive. The truck and along stamp set, that is also in the online exclusive product. So you won't see this in a catalog either. You do have to go online to look for it. Okay, I think we are ready to put this onto the card base, and then we will just about be finished. This here. It's quite thick in the middle because I've got dimensionals on top of all of the layers, but it's not too thick to go into an envelope, to go into regular mail. So It's always kind of a guideline, isn't it? Can I send it for one regular stamp? And the answer is yes. You love the look of the sentiment with the wife hanging over it. Yeah, you know what? Thanks, Lorna. I do too. And I do it from time to time. And then it sort of goes out of my mind, and I do sort of standard layering, either where the red would go all the way around, or it would at least come to the edge of the white. But it's just a little different look, and I agree. It's kind of neat, isn't it? Okay, so there's only one very important task left here. Of course, what are we going to do for embellishment? So just looking through what we have going on here. I think there are some, yes, these are the tinsel gems. There's a tinsel gem 3-pack, which is this one, and a tinsel gem 4-pack. So the 3-pack obviously has 3 colors, and the 4-pack has 4 colors. So here's the Misty Moonlight. So we could put some of those on. That might work, right? Do we think? Just to snazz it up. I suppose I could do red as well. I don't have as many red. These are strawberry slush, but they're very iridescent. They're not just red. So I think that's quite what I think we'll go with these blue guys. So these are tinsely and fun and festive, and it'd be kind of nice on this to be like, okay, so let's just kind of like now I'm just, mucking about here. Go there. And then I'll throw these. Oh my gosh, it's like they put tinsel inside of these, and there's a little piece of, I don't know whether you're gonna be able to see this or not. I come right up to the camera here. Can you see? Let me get my pokey end. Into the light right here. Do you see that little tiny thing? A piece of tinsel in the tinsel gems, and it's attached to the gem. So I guess that's how they get the little sparkly bits inside. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, we'll just put that on. Actually, I'm gonna have to trim that off. It's gonna drive me batty now because I can see it. There we go. Little haircut for you, Mr. Gem. Alrighty. So there, the first card I've made with my little red truck punch and the trucking along stamp set. So there will be more because, oh my goodness, how cute is that truck? I love it. Okay, that's this card. Here's the first card that I made. Same thing as far as the borders go. This is stamped. I used the Bottled Happiness stamp set, and originally I had pulled out a different piece of designer series paper. I think I've put them away. Gonna grab it. Oh. Well, I'm not sure. I didn't put them away. I moved them to be put away and never got there. So this is the inked botanicals paper that we used a couple weeks ago for one of our one sheet wonders. And if you were there, you may recall that I said these prints were all made by the artist taking real botanicals. So in this case, real flowers, and in some other cases, real leaves and real, stems of things, pressing them into paint and then creating artwork. And then, so this is all a flower that they put into paint and created a canvas, and then they took photographs of it and created this paper. So it is beautiful. But this, you can see, was the piece that I had cut. I was going to make the card with this piece. And then I stamped the background thinking, oh, these flowers and leaves are kind of similar and they kind of coordinate and everything. But when I put this on here, it was like, oh my goodness, that's just busy on top of busy. And so I swapped it out to something a little less busy. So this is where we ended up. But there you can see we have the cardstock, the back layer. This is the real red. And then this piece that dangles over. And this one, I just used some baker's twine, very vanilla baker's twine on there. And in fact, this is white, but when I was planning for this is very vanilla background. So I went with very vanilla cardstock and very vanilla twine, and then I used white paper. So, but when you look at it, it doesn't really jump out at you. It's not necessarily the first thing you see. So I'm leaving well enough alone there and just going with that. But anyway, there's another version. And as I say, you can put these layers on any way you like. There's no right or wrong, and you can turn them. And this is just one way. But if you like layers, there you go. Lots and lots of layers. This one, I put dimensionals under the sentiment and under this Lost Lagoon layer just to pop it up. And I didn't do that here. I did this one flat with the other two pieces popped up. So again, layer them how you like, put dimensionals where you like. There's no rules, there's no right or wrong. It's just whatever works for you. So alrighty. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Come back and join you. So that is the card for tonight. I hope that you like it. If you were not crafting along with me, I hope that you will give it a try. I hope you can see where I put all of my layers, and maybe you want to put yours in the same order. Maybe you want to switch it up. There's no right or wrong. I am going to take photos of this. Interesting. I'm just sitting here looking at this. Something looks this card to me looks bigger, maybe because this is very plain. There's not as much on it. I don't know. But this piece is the same size as this piece. I'm relatively certain. Yes, it is. I'm leaning it up against each other and it's the same size, but for some reason, to me, this piece looks smaller. It's my optical illusion on my eyes. Don't ask for any more explanation than that, because that's all I've got. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me this evening. I hope you enjoyed it. And as I was starting to say, I will take photos of these cards and I will post them. And then if you'd like to share your creations, you can add them into the comments. And love to see what you've created, and you can inspire the rest of us. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope to craft with all of you again really soon. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.